This is IBP Event Recap.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Iron Boy Powerlifting Event Recap. Last weekend we were in Spartanburg, South Carolina for the South Carolina State Powerlifting Championships. It was the 13th annual competition that we have had. The competition was held at Iron House Fitness, and once again it was in Spartanburg, South Carolina. This episode, our special guest is Miss Haley Gann. She is the owner and founder of Crossfit Bang Bang in Easley, South Carolina. She also brought a team to the competition last weekend. How are you doing today?
I'm so great. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Good evening, Haley. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, tell us about your gym and how you even got started lifting weights.
Sure, I'd love to. I've been bumming around you guys for a little while prior to actually owning my own affiliate. I was with another CrossFit gym, and they introduced me to Iron Boy. My first meet was a February Morganton event in North Carolina, and I think that was it. That was like the moment that I knew I was probably going to lift heavy forever. It was a defining moment in my fitness career for sure. In fact, I had one of those moments that very few athletes probably have the good fortune of experiencing when I was at my deadlift, and I hit a PR total of 275, and that was at that time just unbelievable for me to ever accomplish. And there was this moment in time where I sort of, I don't know how to explain it. I almost disconnected from my body. I don't know how you explain that kind of feeling, but it was the greatest. It was the greatest, and I was hooked, and I've loved you guys ever since.
Cool. Our platform
awesome.
has that effect.
It totally does. It totally does. It's the truth.
How many years ago was that?
That was 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Right, 2014.
Yep. And shortly thereafter, I had made my decision that this was the route for me, and I spent the next 2 years learning and studying and training and studying and just ingesting, living, eating, sleeping, fitness, CrossFit, fitness in general, movement. I absorbed as many seminars as I could, Olympic lifting, powerlifting. I wanted to be well-rounded and as well educated for my people as possible. Mm-hmm. We decided to open up our own affiliate 3.5 years ago. We grew out of our little garage and into a 3,000 square foot warehouse very quickly. Awesome. We're not yet at our 3rd anniversary of our bigger box, and we are moving now to a 6,000 square foot facility next weekend. We've implemented some programs. We have a very strong powerlifting team. But it goes beyond that. It's beyond just lifting big weights. For us, it's about growing a person to their fullest and bravest potential. And I don't think that can happen without lifting heavy weights.
True. Very true.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. Your team's pretty amazing. They look good.
Well, thank you.
Like you said, there's some strong members you've got there, and they perform well, and they all look well trained and ready to go.
Thank you. We really take pride in quality of movement is very important to us. Not just for us to be able to do great pull-ups or handstand walks or wall balls or something maybe deemed a little more CrossFit-y. We want to be good movers in everything, in life even, in pushing a grocery cart, in picking up a heavy bag of mulch. And so all of these things carry over to being a well-fit human. So we really push our people to really focus on that skill. And our women really have stepped up to our powerlifting group far, far, far more than our men. It's probably an 80-20 ratio, women just dominating.
Yeah, we've seen a spike in women competitors the last few years.
it's a great thing. It's a really great thing. I think the future will change a lot, given this kind of gift that women are embracing. I can see it from just a smaller communal standpoint, in our gym, that empowered women and brave women will do great things, make bigger ripples than those that don't feel confident in their ability or confident in themselves.
That's true.
Yeah, I think our growth as far as Iron Boy is concerned has been primarily from CrossFit facilities.
The last
I
few
appreciate
years,
you saying that.
Yeah, for
I appreciate
women.
you saying that.
Yeah.
Yes, and because it opens a door that otherwise was slammed in their face.
Right.
It's pretty nerve-wracking to walk into a, quote-unquote bro gym and sling weight around. It's a bit intimidating, and you're probably not going to get a lot of women willing to do that,
Right.
or brave enough to do that. But introducing them in a way that is patient and without fear and supported, we're finding that the growth, both physically, mentally, is just off the charts and so impressive. And we are so humbled and grateful to be a part of what is happening.
I'll tell you, we've been happy to have y'all. Y'all had a really huge group back at Belmont. Let's see, that was April, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was our first group meet. And in fact, that was our first powerlifting meet from our gym. And we were shocked at how many people were willing to overnight a trip for something still so new. It was really well timed, and it was well responded to. This particular meet, we had way more people on the docket, but I think timing wise, because a lot of them are women, it's tough with school and end of summer. So obligations shift, as they do typically for women that have children, from fitness, focusing on themselves, to over back to the children and mom life.
A lot going on.
Balance.
As far as your facility goes, y'all are pretty much CrossFit based, or do you do other?
Well, we are. So currently we are affiliated with CrossFit, and we offer other programs in conjunction with CrossFit. So for us, we found CrossFit, for some people, to be a bit of an intimidation factor, and it was not bringing in the demographic that it should have, that I know it needed to, particularly for the area that we were in. So I introduced about maybe 14 months ago a boot camp program, a 6-week boot camp program. Mm-hmm. We went through foundational movements, and we got a barbell in their hands, and we discussed proper form and function, and then moved them on to CrossFit. Well, we found that even that wasn't a very good transition, that there was still a missing piece. So we created another program called Boost, and Boost focuses a lot on body weight. We have a lot of conditioning, of course. We do kind of we call it kind of our lab, so a little bit more experimental and what we would do that might not fly as much in our standard CrossFit classes. So that's been very popular. But at the same time, we introduced yoga multiple days a week, powerlifting, of course. We also do lots of personal training and, individual goal setting. We intend to provide a strongman space in our new facility. We have a kids program. We're pretty well-rounded as far as a person off the street coming through the door looking for something to plug into. We've probably got something that you'll enjoy. And what it allows is that all of these programs can kind of recycle into one another. So boot campers are going to yoga, and CrossFitters are going to Boost, and CrossFitters are going to powerlifting. And we're seeing a good immersion of all sports, which really is kind of what CrossFit is. It's not specifically one thing. So we really appreciate that our athletes and those that are coming to our gym are willing to be open enough to not just say, I'm only here for CrossFit, but I would entertain all of these other options, because they're all great things to be versed in.
That's true.
A lot of diversity there.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it goes back to something you said earlier. A lot of folks don't realize when they're not participating in any kind of weight training is there is a kind of a spiritual, mental journey that you're going to go through when you like when you lift heavy weight or when you do anything with weight training. That I think that goes unnoticed or unknown to folks that don't do it.
Right, and I think it's largely misunderstood because of lots of reasons. I mean, there's taboo associated with women lifting heavy or women looking like men or all kinds of things that are weird and not true. And it's partially, I feel, responsible to change perceptions somewhat. I don't think that I or our gym fits any kind of mold. We're not any kind of, one particular type of gym. We would like to welcome and accommodate all types of people, seasoned, brand new to training, broken, exuberant to be, lifting, all of those. Every person that has a desire, we would like to be able to welcome into our community.
I guess leading into your third year.
This will be the September. We are having an anniversary party on the 22nd of September, and that will mark our third year in a larger facility. We stuck it out in my garage for half a year, and that was long enough.
Yeah.
We needed more room to breathe, but I just closed out a 22-person 6:30 p.m. class, and we are elbow to elbow in our current spot.
Wow.
So everybody's looking to stretch their wings a bit and have this newfound space. So much more room for activities.
Yeah. So
I got to know about the name. How'd you come up with CrossFit Bang Bang?
Okay, so when you decide that you want to be affiliated, you have to come up with several different name options, and then they will say yay or nay to those name options. And so let me tell you, just about every CrossFit name is taken, particularly the good ones. I mean, you're down to pretty slim pickings. Like CrossFit Toe Jam there's not a nice ring to that. Not too many people want to probably rep a shirt that says Toe Jam on it. So you're limited in choice, but I knew that, like myself and like my, just kind of the way that I choose to go forward in my life, I wanted to be true to myself, which is to be somewhat out of the bell curve of normalcy. So while our area has awesome gym names, we did not yet have one in Powdersville, so the option was, of course, to go something like CrossFit Powdersville, or I don't know, we had a few other kind of bland names, and nothing was feeling right. So we were going through, our options, and I don't really know how that whole thing evolved, but I was sitting on the couch, and I just said, bang. I don't know, I was envisioning kind of the old Batman and Robin cartoon. Pow, bam, boom, bang. And the colors were so vibrant, and I just sort of could see it. I could see I could see it, and it was there, and that was it. I didn't have any other I just knew. I put it on the paper, submitted it, and it came back, and that was it. The logo that we had in mind went right along with our name. We already had colors. It was just kind of meant to be. And it's really not stopped for 3 years. It's been that way. We've just continued to gain momentum, and the pieces keep falling into place. And the community keeps responding. So we feel kind of like a freight train right now. There's no slowing down. There's no brakes. We are gripping it and ripping it. And everybody is growing exponentially, and we could not be more proud or more grateful for the gifts that we've been given.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
So what's your membership now?
We're at 150. We have probably a good, 20 to 25 athletes that drop in on a regular basis. So they have like a punch card option. We have a very active kids program. We also have small group PT with one of the average ages of our small groups is 70 years old. So we work with tiny, what do they say? What is it? Grave. What is it? How does that saying go? Birth to grave or something to grave? I don't know. Anyway, all of the ages from the very beginning to the very end and everything in between.
That's cool. So
you guys do too.
Yeah.
You guys have a great, amazing, just wide range of athletes from all types of backgrounds, and it's a really cool thing to be a part of, because you get such great exposure to all sorts of athletes, and especially for our gym and for our lifters, it's awesome for them to be able to be so close to people that can, deadlift massive amounts of weight, but also be next to, a 9-year-old boy that's breaking national records. Like that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's something we take pride in.
Absolutely.
A lot of organizations, they kind of cater to the athletes that are, in their prime, so to speak, and we're interested in all folks, just youth and the really good powerlifters and the older folks. We try to work everybody in. It's kind of a family thing.
It feels that way. And I've watched you guys evolve as a team. I've watched you guys evolve as service providers of this amazing thing. It's really cool to know that we have a group that we feel like is our family. And you're recognizable and you're kind and you're patient and nobody barks at anybody and nobody feels intimidated. It's really awesome. You guys do a really fantastic job.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yes, we do. And the things you say is kind of the roots of the Federation.
Awesome.
That's what we built it on. So
yes. Anything else is false and won't last.
We've been to other federations around. We've got a long history of competition and traveling around and everything. So we kind of came together with the common mindset of what we wanted a federation to be, and it all gelled together. And we just roll with it. We don't worry about everybody else.
That's right. It shows. It's awesome. I'm so glad that we have the opportunity to work with you guys.
Well, thank you. Let's talk about your lifters and how Saturday went.
We had 4 women. We had 4 women that lifted. They 2 of which this was their first powerlifting meet. Let me think. If we talk about so Amber Hughes, she was that adorable, shorter, wonderful little lifter, and she was a boot camper. She was a boot camper that was hungry for more and ended up being a phenomenal lifter. She's still very brand new, but just form to a T, very coachable. She has had a bit of a rough go this summer trying to figure out some medical stuff that I think kind of, as we all venture down the road of athleticism, things creep up that we can't just easily rid ourselves of. And so for her, there was a little bit of a journey there to figure out some nutritional things. And once she did that, she was on track to really be successful. So we saw her numbers really, really increase very quickly. So this meet, she ended up PRing every single one of her lifts. This was not really planned. This was like, go for the gold on your 3rd lift. If you get it, awesome.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's okay. So she was able she was able to do that, and she's still so excited, and I'm still so excited for her. And she started a boot camp less than a year ago. Brave girl. So that was Amber, and then we have Jewel Lamb. This was her first meet. This was Amber's second. She had lifted with you guys in April. This was Jewel's first meet. Jewel's a school teacher, so this was like well timed right before she went back to school. And Jewel's been an athlete, a CrossFit athlete for some time. Prior to that, she was a collegiate runner. So she's got a pretty well-versed fitness background. She's more recently focused on her power movements. And again, like Amber, she is very strict, very clean. She's coachable. She takes her time. She's awesome. And she also is very passionate, as you guys were able to see. She's very passionate about what she's doing. And I love her dearly. She has a wonderful heart. And we need that kind of enthusiasm. So it was cool to see that. That was Jewel. We had Leah Hall. Leah's a really cool story. Leah she was diagnosed in the fall. Her knees, she had been a collegiate runner. Her knees were just trash. So she had been doing a lot of PT to rehab. We'd been, building her posterior back and just working a lot on trying to get her moving well and not focusing anything on any lifts at all. She then had a hysterectomy in April.
Wow.
Okay. And now we are in August, and she is doing a powerlifting meet. Keep in mind, we haven't trained. We haven't had a barbell in her hand. So instead, our PT consisted of sled pulls, heavy sandbag cleans, other bilateral dumbbell presses, other movements to strengthen her in a way that would not compromise her healing body. So this was just a crapshoot. She just decided, I'm just going to do it, and we'll just see what happens. Well, we saw what happened. I mean, she's a dang beast, you know?
She pulled, 320?
320. 320.
That's
Word,
crazy.
you know? Like,
Crazy.
powerful.
Yeah, no joke.
Powerful. And she's she's so poised and just so calm and so put together doing it. It's awesome. She's amazing, resilient, a great example of the strength that a woman possesses, in and out. She did awesome. And then finally we had Mariah. This was Mariah's second meet as well. She lifted for the first time with you guys in Belmont. Mariah has been CrossFitting for some time, powerlifting steadily as well. She's a younger athlete, an amazing athlete, an amazing human, and a dog lover, so that makes me love her more. She had an on and off meet. I think because she's still fairly new, we're still working out some kinks, which is completely fine. We should always be working out kinks. But I think in the end, she was able to dig pretty deep and pull out some numbers that she can be proud of. And we're certainly proud of her. What it did, though, more than anything for those women was make them hungry for the next meet.
Absolutely.
And that's what we
good.
want. Yeah.
Yeah, they were all impressive. Like I say, we're really enjoying the women that are coming to the meets, especially recently.
I think it's so great.
It is really cool.
Yeah, and it's awesome to watch a woman do something like that, particularly when you don't expect one of them to rip, 300 plus off the floor.
Right.
That's awesome.
Well, I think we had, I don't know exactly, 30 plus lifters, and I'm thinking we had 6 or 7 women. So, it's
all of which were awesome too. They were great girls.
It's a greater and greater percentage of our meets are turning up that way, and it's a really good thing. We're certainly appreciative of gyms like yours that are bringing teams to the meets. It just brings a whole lot more to the competition and to the meets when
you
have
we look
have
forward
teams.
to it.
Yeah.
Yes, and we do look for a little bit of competition. It's not like we want to go in and just sweep it all. We do actually enjoy that there are other females there for us to compete against. Because it is a measure of how hard we've worked meet to meet, and we are known for pushing for our best, and these girls are as well. So yeah, girls, get your booties in there. Like we want it. We want to see it.
There you go.
Well, Miss Haley, where can people find you at online, like y'all's website and Instagrams and all that good stuff?
Sure. So our website is CrossfitBangBang.com. We are on Instagram. We're on Facebook. You can text me. You can call me. You can carrier pigeon me. If you have an interest in trying to better your life, get at your girl. Our new address is going to be 124 Village Lane. That is in Easley. And we're the large warehouse behind Upstate Mulch off of Highway 153. We'll have a grand opening that'll be pushed into October, but we're definitely up and running after this weekend move. So come and say hello.
We might just do that.
I would sure like that a lot.
Along with CrossFit Bang Bang's team, we also had a few other gyms come. We had Flex Gym, they had a few lifters, and we also had another gym from South Carolina, Gym Life, out of Pickens. They had a couple people. So who all was with Gym Life, Dad?
Okay, with Derek Van Long came along and Ethan Murphy, and Ethan was one of our outstanding lifters, I believe. He was in the 220 class, and he actually ended up with 1155 total. So he was our team outstanding lifter for the day.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And so Flex Gym, they brought a pretty good sized team. They had 8 or 9 lifters.
And they did a little bit of everything. A few of them did full power, a few of them push-pull, some squat only, bench only, deadlift only, everything.
Yep. Well, Frank ended up increasing his elite masters total.
At 220.
Yeah, 220 I think is about 1,290 pound total. That was pretty awesome. He was our outstanding master lifter.
That's in 50-59, age 50-59?
55 to 59.
Yeah, 55.
I mean 55-59.
Yeah. So he just keeps adding to his total. He's
cool.
He does prove that it, just because you get a little age on you, you can still improve. Because he's been improving for years now. It's just a steady climb. It's pretty impressive.
It is.
And he brought several with him. Trey Beam, he hit 160 pound deadlift, which in the 88 class, that's pretty impressive too.
Yeah.
Father like son, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
And we're around a lot of those folks at Flex. We're out there every Thursday training with those folks, and you can see everybody's just moving in the right direction. I was impressed with Joshua Dale's squat. He's improved on his form a whole lot.
And just to keep with the form, Kasha Sweeney, she still looks the best out of everybody as far as her form goes, her technique.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Yeah. She looks good.
She's solid on everything.
Yep. And Jordan, I think she hit a record, a couple of records in the bench press. Jordan Link. And Amanda, she hit a 215 deadlift. Amanda Ford.
At 114, wasn't she?
114. Yep.
And she also
And
helped
she's
us
just-
take attempts, so thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. That was cool.
What were you about to say, Rob?
Amanda's still kind of getting over the hamstring injury too. It's still kind of holding her back a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Sure enough. Alan Powell, he was there. He kind of had an off day. I think his equipment. I think he'd lost some weight. His equipment looked kind of loose. His shirt and squat suit and all that. So he had a poor day for him, but he'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a risk when you're in and out of that equipment.
Oh yeah.
It's it's a kind of a crapshoot sometimes.
And like you said, he's changing weight classes often too.
Yeah.
So it's a little all over the place.
Yeah, and Jaravius Styles, he was.
Yeah.
We saw him in Belmont in April, and he lifted in the 181 class. He did a deadlift of 600 pounds at 181, but his body weight I think was like 167.
Wow, that's crazy.
So he might as well have been in the 165 class, pulling 600 pounds.
And he was pure raw too, wasn't he? No belt.
That's outstanding.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I want to say his first meet was when we were in South Carolina in December, and like you said, we saw him in April. So this is only his third meet.
Yep.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Theo Ursery.
Yep.
Big deadlift at 148. What was his body weight? You know his body weight?
I think he was, I want to say he's pretty close to 148.
Limit, yeah.
Yeah.
Pulled, what do you call it, 510, I think?
Mm-hmm.
And increased his elite total, I believe.
He did.
Yeah, his squat went up.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, 1275 at 148. And he's actually a master's lifter. So.
Well, we got him in the Submasters, 35 to 39.
Submaster, yeah.
Submaster, excuse me. Yeah. I don't want to get him older than he is. Sorry about that, Theo.
I don't want you to.
Well, he's going to get those master's numbers too when he gets there, though.
Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm. He is. I apologize. But this Louis Pacera or I don't know how to pronounce that.
Luis Becerra, I think is how you say that.
Yeah, he was a first-time lifter in Submasters 181, and I don't think he really knew where to begin with his openers or anything, but he finished up strong. But he made some pretty hefty jumps along the way as far as his poundages go.
Oh, yeah.
But I think when we see him again, he's going to be an outstanding lifter, too.
Yep, he came with Jonathan Brogdon, and Brogdon had the biggest bench press of the day, 445.
Yeah. 445.
Yeah, so anything over
What about,
400, drug-free and raw is a big lift.
Oh, yeah. And then there was, wasn't Krista, what's her name? R-U-S-E, Krista.
Bruce.
Wasn't she one of the outstanding lifters?
She was. Yeah, she
pulled 285 at 132.
Yeah, 620 total in the 132.
And she's a fairly new lifter too, right?
Think so.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, has some real good lifting.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to see Ryan Ferguson again. He's in the Masters 45, 49, and 308s.
Yep.
He had a good meet, 1330 total.
Yeah, squatted 510 and pulled 500.
Yep. That's pretty solid.
Was this Bert Conley's first meet?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if it was or not, but he had a good pull too. 535.
Yeah. Yeah, what weight class was he in?
The 220s.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think
it was a good meet. It was a lot of good solid lifts.
it was. I want to give a shout out to Lisa Corcoran for letting us for hosting the meet and letting us use her gym. She is actually in the process of moving to a bigger facility. She was actually moving this weekend. So we appreciate her and her crew for letting us use the old facility for this meet. I think we'll be moving to the new facility in December. So we look forward to that.
Yep.
And I do want to mention the spotters and loaders too. They I mean, it's always a tough day at a full power meet for the spotters and loaders especially.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Jermaine Rice and Kelvin Washington.
Yeah, we want to give a shout out to them. They carried the load all day long.
Oh yeah.
So we
well, they're big enough to carry the load.
Yeah, you got that right.
They did a great job.
Are they lifting in December?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, they
cool.
told me they were going to lift in December, so
that'd be fun to watch.
But they did an excellent job.
Yeah.
And we appreciate all the folks from North Carolina that came down and helped us judge and load and spot and work the squat stands and all that too.
And all the lifters from North Carolina that came down.
Yeah.
To just lift.
Yep. And all the lifters in general. We appreciate everybody. We like to say, we appreciate people picking our organization because there's a lot of other organizations out there to pick from.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And we appreciate, everybody deciding to do what we do because I think we have a different organization than anything else out there, and it's good to see people, that believe in what we believe in come and support what we do.
Yep, I agree.
And I wanted to give one other person a shout out because this kid gets taller every time I see him, but he's like 13 years old, Dawson Carswell.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out, just tell him that, keep up the good work. He's an impressive kid.
He's
350 deadlift
definitely
at 13.
Yeah. That is really good.
And yeah, he's got a long way to go, about 7 foot tall.
Yeah, like his daddy.
Uh-huh. Well, guys, that was our recap, and we'll catch you all next time. Thank you for listening.
It's time for the IBP Nationals. Mark your calendars for October 19th through the 21st. The 3-day event will be hosted in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. For more information about the competition, visit ironboypowerlifting.com. Please subscribe, and thank you for listening. Be sure to follow @IronBoyPowerlifting on social media for all the latest updates.